I think a buyer has just scammed Reverb out of $1,164. Let me explain. Before we start, I want to let you know that I've been on eBay since 2007, almost 20 years, and I have 100% positive feedback. And I have been on Reverb since 2017 with 100% positive feedback. I had a Schecter bass that I'd barely been playing and I needed some money, so I decided to put it for sale up on Reverb. The bass was in pristine condition. When I first got it a year and a half ago, I took it to a local guitar shop where a tech set it up perfectly and made it play like butter. It was an amazing bass. I have 2 videos of me playing this bass, and most recently I recorded a song with this bass not even 2 months ago. The bass sold on April 3rd. I took it to UPS and shipped it out the same day, and according to UPS, the buyer got it on April 5th. On April 11th, I got a 5-star feedback rating from the buyer. On April 20th, I got a message from Reverb saying that they're requesting a refund. In the refund request, the buyer writes, I took the bass in for routine maintenance and they went to adjust the truss rod and loosen the rod and it broke off with a slight turn. I suspect it had been over tightened beforehand and close to snapping. I'm willing to discuss as I'm sure something could be negotiated and it is possible you may not have known as well. I'm willing to try a middle ground if possible. They sent an additional message to me that said, for a visual, the nut it now free floating and spinning and seems to be separated from the truss rod. This was bizarre to me because I've owned over 50 instruments and have adjusted truss rods all the time and nothing like this has ever happened. It was really strange. In my mind, I was thinking the buyer may have just trigger fingered the refund button because they were upset over it. So I decided to reply back with some suggestions, trying to figure out a solution. I was letting him know it wasn't like that when I had it. I got it set up at a local guitar store and I offered a suggestion. Can you take it to a local guitar shop to check on it? Could have just gotten loose because I was thinking maybe they were adjusting it. I know they put in the message that they took it to a guitar shop. Maybe they were adjusting it too quickly. You know, you're supposed to do 1/8 to a quarter turn and then let it settle for 30 minutes before you adjust it again. Maybe they were just doing quick adjustments and maybe the truss rod wheel got loose. And I offered another solution. Maybe it's an anomaly. It's crazy what happened with the truss rod. Maybe it's something to do with the Schecter bass itself and you can get in touch with Schecter because the bass is still pretty new. It's 2023 model. Maybe Schecter could help him. He replied back sensibly. He said, I'll have to try that Monday and I'm unsure about the Schecter warranty if it wasn't purchased from an authorized Schecter dealer. How long ago and where did you purchase it from? I replied back, okay, I bought it used locally a year and a half ago. If the guitar shop doesn't fix it, it's worth reaching out to Schecter. A day later, he replies, I discussed with Schecter and it is under warranty due to being bought from a verified seller. I think he meant from an unauthorized dealer. And I talked to my local music store and they confirmed the truss rod was broke. I tried to get a quote from a luthier to see what it would be to get the truss rod replaced. I don't really have any local luthiers and the one that I didn't have the tools to do the job. At this point, I want to go through with a full refund because the truss rod must have been over cranked and damaged before I received it. I was bewildered, all right, because a lot of things are going through my mind. How does a truss rod even break? What is this person doing to adjust it? Or what did they do at the guitar shop to adjust it for it to break or snap? I'm thinking it's just a truss rod wheel, but now they're saying that the whole truss rod is broken in the bass. This is crazy to me. It's really crazy. As I said before, I've adjusted a lot of truss rods and they don't break. I'm thinking in my head, they adjusted it too much or overcranked it, or the bass is a lemon. Either way, I'm saying to myself in my head, this has nothing to do with me. I didn't adjust the truss rod and then it broke. Or when I had the bass and I got it set up, nothing happened to it. It didn't break. Nothing was wrong with it. If the bass was a lemon and they own the bass now, then it's their responsibility. I feel bad about that, okay? And I understand there's the proximity of the situations happening. I sold the bass, they got it. 15 days later, something on it breaks. He thinks that it's because of something I did. Again, I got it set up at a local shop. A local tech adjusted everything. Nothing broke. Nothing was wrong on the bass. When this person had the bass, they were adjusting it. Something on it broke and they're trying to throw the blame on me and trying to get a refund, send it back to me so that it is my problem. That's what I was thinking in my head. And I do feel bad about the situation. I feel sympathy about it, but I honestly don't feel that I was responsible for it or that this person deserves a refund. That original refund request, I replied back to it and put in this message. The truss rod was working fine when I sold it to you. I had it set up at a local guitar store and there was the appropriate amount of relief for the strings and tuning. It wasn't over tightened. I was saying that because they claimed that it was over tightened. Otherwise, the whole thing would be buzzing. I have videos of me playing it, which was in the listing. I put the videos of me playing in the listing. And also I recorded a song with it less than 2 months ago. And I linked the video of one of the videos of me playing and the song that I just recorded 2 months ago, the bass is playing fine. I'm sympathetic to the situation, but I sold you a perfectly working instrument. I can't verify what was done by you when you received it. So unfortunately, I won't accept the refund request. I talked to a number of friends and family about this, and they said that it is weird, the proximity of the situation, but they adjusted something on it and it broke when they were adjusting it. It has nothing to do with me and it's not my responsibility. It was working perfectly fine. I did not sell them a messed up instrument at all. I send over that refund request message and I deny the refund. This was on April 22nd. And not hours later, the buyer sends another refund request to me, this time making a lot of claims. Let me read you this message. This was listed as in excellent condition. Reverb's definition is as follows. Excellent items are almost entirely free from blemishes and other visual defects and have been played or used with the utmost care. I do not feel this item was in the condition as advertised. I took the instrument to professional shop to do a setup and he went to loosen the truss rod and it broke. The seller argued that it would have had buzzing issue if it was too tight, but it came in sounding slightly buzzy / tight, which it can be over tightened and that caused a break. Now they brought in a new claim that it came in slightly, but this person gave me 5-star feedback. They didn't mention it any time before. Now, after I mentioned if it would be too tight or if it has back bow, is going to be buzzy. Now they're bringing it up in this message. Oh, it was slightly buzzy when I got it. The year on this instrument is 2023. It is too new to be having issues with said instrument and I feel it was damaged beforehand and almost broke or was repaired enough to get by selling. And then when it was taken in for standard maintenance, it finally completely broke. So now they've got 2 more claims that they're saying against me. They're saying that the bass was damaged beforehand and almost broke, and also claiming that maybe it did break and I went and I got it fixed to the point where it's operating and working fine, and then I sold it like that. Okay, crazy. I did check to see if there was a resolution of getting the instrument repaired to try to meet the seller in the middle, but I do not have any professionals around that are skilled enough to do a repair job. So at this point, I would like to do a full refund and return it to them. I did feel conflicted because again, I was thinking to myself, did I sell them something wrong? I asked my friends and family and I remembered nothing was wrong with the instrument. They said, this person had it, they adjusted something, they broke it when it was in their possession, and now they're making dubious claims that I went to fix it or it was already broken and I went and I fixed the truss rod to the point where it was okay, but if you just blow on the truss rod, then it'll snap and break. Yeah, totally. So they're making these dubious claims. They send another refund request and I deny it and I say, please look at the original message from the first refund request denial. And I thought this was the end of it. We're done. But amazingly, I get a message on April 30th, 9 days later. And at first it was a little confusing. I had to think about it, but the email says, refund covered by Reverb. Hi, Yousef. Reverb has covered the cost of the refund for the Schecter bass that I sold. I don't know what happened, but it seems like the buyer got in contact with Reverb. They must have, and maybe they shared the same information with them. And Reverb decided, instead of asking me to give the full refund, Reverb decided to cover the refund amount. Basically, what you have here, in my opinion, is the buyer just scanned Reverb for $1,164. Because I sent them a perfectly working instrument. They broke it when it was in their possession. They made a bunch of different claims against me and tried to refund it and send it back to me, put all the burden on me after they break it. Then they get Reverb involved and get Reverb to refund the money. Why would Reverb do this? It's wild to me. I don't think that they should have done this. What do you think? Do you think I handled it well? Do you think any of the burden or onus is on me? Should I have accepted the refund request back? Should I have offered to pay for the truss rod repair? It sounds wild to me to be saying that, but I want to hear your thoughts. Do you think that this buyer just scammed Reverb out of the money? Do you think Reverb was right for sending him the money? It's all confusing to me. Let me know your thoughts. Thanks.